Good day to all electricians. Ito po si Simeon Valenzuela and welcome back to my channel. Our topic for today is the English version of our previous video on reverse forward Wye-Delta Magnetic starter. From the power circuit, we can see that we have 4 magnetic contactors on the reverse forward Wye-Delta Magnetic starter. We have the forward contactor F, the reverse contactor R, delta contactor B, and star contactor S. We have the overload relay and the main circuit breaker. The motor that we will connect to the Wye-Delta Magnetic starter is a 12 lead motor for 220 volts. This is the motor terminal diagram of the 12 lead motor. On the left side is the YY start diagram, and on the right side is the double delta run motor terminal diagram. In connecting the 12 lead motor to the reverse forward Wye-Delta Magnetic starter, we will use the double delta run motor terminal diagram. The motor terminals are U1, V1, W1, U2, V2, W2, U5, B5, W5, and U6, V6, W6. This is the connection diagram of the double delta running condition of the 12 lead motor. The pattern for motor tagging, we have 6 coils of the motor, and we have double delta. This is one delta on the inside and another delta on the outside. So starting from U1 in the clockwise direction, we are going to use the spiral method of rotation. Clockwise rotation, we have start of the winding U1, start of the winding V1, start of the winding W1, the end of the winding U2, the end of the winding V2, and the end of the winding W2. So we have U1, V1, W1, U2, V2, W2. That is the first delta. The second delta, we have U5, beginning of the winding, V5, and W5. The end of the winding, U6, V6, and W6. So we can see from the diagram that U1, U2 is parallel with U5, U6. V1, V2 is parallel to B5, B6. and W1, W2 is parallel with W5 and W6. So I make a drawing in here of the parallel windings. So we have on the first delta, the pattern for tagging is U1, V1, W1, start of the winding, end of the winding, U2, V2, W2. That is for the first delta. And the second delta, U5, V5, W5, end of the winding, U6, V6, W6. So we connect this together for parallel connection. U1 and U5 connected, U2 and U6 connected, V1, V5 connected, V2, V6 connected, W1, W5, W2, W6 are connected. In order to connect the windings in delta, we will connect V1, V5 to U2, U6, and we will connect W1, W5 to V2, V6, W1, W5 connected to V2, V6, and then U1, U5 connected to W2, W6. So this is line 1, line 2, and line 3. Red for line 1, yellow for line 2, and blue for line 3. Let us now discuss the principle of how to reverse the rotation of the motor for a three-phase motor. For example, this is the clockwise rotation. We have three terminals for the motor, T1, T2, T3. Line 1 is connected to T1, red. Line 2 is connected to T2, yellow. Line 3 is connected to T3, blue. Red, yellow, blue, RYB. Now for the reverse rotation, line 1 is connected now to T3. Line 2 is still the same, connected to T2. And line 3 is now connected to T1. So now we have interchange line 1 and line 3. Line 2 remains connected to terminal T2. Now the color of the lines are blue, yellow, red for the reverse. For the forward, we have red, yellow, blue. That is the principle of reversing the motor rotation. You have to interchange any two of the supply lines. In this case, we interchange line 1 and line 3. The red and the blue we interchange. Now on the power circuit, we have main circuit breaker MCB, overload relay, and we have the 4 magnetic contactors, forward F, reverse R, delta D, and star or Y contactor S. From the diagram, we can see that on the line side of the reverse contactor, the line 1 on the forward is is on the left side, but on the reverse contactor, the line 1 color red is on the right side, so it is already interchanged. The yellow remains on the middle. And the blue, the line 3 is now interchanged on the line side of reverse contactor. It is now on the first position. So now we have, for the forward, we have red, yellow, blue. For the reverse, we have blue, yellow, red. We just copy the double delta connection of the motor in connecting to the reverse forward Wye-Delta Magnetic starter. Now let us go to the control circuit. We have the main circuit breaker, MCB, miniature circuit breaker. For the control circuit, we have the overload, relay contact, we have the stop push button, the forward push button, and the reverse push button. So all those symbols, it has letter F, it belongs to one device, the forward contactor, letter F. This is the power contact. And this is the coil of the forward contactor, normally closed forward, normally open forward, normally open contact forward. And for the reverse, all the symbols that has letter R belongs to the same device, the reverse contactor. So we have the coil R, normally closed contact R, normally open contact R, normally open contact R. For the timer TR, that is the star delta timer. This is the coil of the timer, time opening contact of the timer, and time closing contact of the timer. The principle in here is that once the timer is energized, for example, if the timer setting is 3 seconds, it will wait for 3 seconds. 3 seconds time to elapse before the time opening contact TO will open, and at the same time the time closing contact will close. For the delta coil B, normally contact, close contact B. For the star contactor, we have star coil, letter S, normally close, letter S. And this is the power contact of the star contactor, the power contact of the delta contactor. The forward contactor is momentary contact push button. If you push the forward contactor, this is open, and if you push the F push button, the contact will close. But if you remove your finger from the push button, the F push button will return to its open position. The same way the reverse push button. The stop push button, however, is closed. If you push the stop push button, this will open. The motor will stop, But if you move your hand away from the push button, this stop push button will return to its closed position. Now let us read the schematic diagram. In the schematic diagram, as the drawing of the schematic diagram is shown, there is no power on the coil. There is no power yet on the coil, and the power contacts are open. So now, if you push the forward push button, the forward coil will be energized. And once the forward coil is energized, the power contact of the forward push button will close. The normally closed F will open. This will prevent simultaneous energization of the forward coil and the reverse coil. This NC contact of the F will open, while the normally open contact F will close. And this normally open contact will close also. The forward contactor and the reverse contactor, the coils are electrically interlocked. That means that only one of them can be energized at one time, at any given time. For example, if the forward contactor is energized, the reverse contactor is not energized, and vice versa. If the reverse is energized, the forward is not energized. Only one of them should be energized at one time. That is the meaning of this dotted line. Also, the delta contactor and the delta contactor and the star contactor are, these two are electrically interlocked. If the delta is energized, the star is not energized, and vice versa. If the star is energized, then the delta is not energized. So let us say we want to start the motor in forward direction. You push the F push button, it will close, and then the forward contactor coil will be energized. So the F forward magnetic contactor will close. The normally closed normally closed contact of the forward letter F will open to prevent simultaneous energization of forward and reverse contactor coil. Normally open contact F will close. This will serve as the holding circuit interlock, because this will open once you move your hand away from the push button. This will close, and the power will go to this in this direction. It will bypass the forward push button. The normally open contact F will close. This will energize the timer. if the normally open F will close, the star contactor coil will now be energized. So S contactor will close and the forward contactor is already closed, but the delta is open and the reverse contactor is open. So now the motor will run in Y connection. The power will go this way through the motor windings and go to the S contactor because D is open and S is shorted on the top. This is shorted, so once this is closed, the motor will be running in Y connection. So after 3 seconds, the motor is running in Y connection. After 3 seconds, time opening contact will open. At the same time, time closing contact will close. But when this one, the star contactor is energized, the normally close was opened. And now, after 3 seconds, TO will open, and now the S coil will be energized, no more power. So the S contactor will open, and once this is open, it will lose power. The S coil will lose power, and the normally closed S of the S contactor normally closed will return the contact will return to its closed position. So now the delta contactor coil will be energized. This already open, the S. Now the delta D is closed. And now the motor is running in forward direction in delta configuration. This is the delta configuration of the motor. This way, that there, it is delta connection. Once the delta coil is energized, it will open this normally closed D. This will prevent simultaneous energization of the delta and star contactor. Now let us take a look at the power circuit when the motor is already running in double delta. The forward contactor is closed, reverse contactor open, delta contactor is closed, S contactor is open. So the power goes line 1, color yellow, it goes to U1 and U5 from the motor terminal diagram. Line 1 goes to U1 and U5 and also to W2 and W6. So U1 and U5 is also connected to the red color. W2, W6. U1, U5 and W2, W6. U1, U5 also connected to W2, W6. Line 2 is connected to V1, V5 and U2, U6. So line 2 is connected, yellow is connected to V1, V5, and also connected to U2 and U6. Line 3 is connected to W1, W5. Line 3 is connected to W1, W5, and also connected to V2, V6. So W1, W5, color blue, is also connected to V2, V6. W1, W5, V2, V6. Line 3 and line 2. Line 2 is B1, B5, U2, U6. Line 3, W1, W5, V2, V6. Now, if we want to reverse the rotation of the motor, you have to push the stop push button. So the motor will stop, and then you push the reverse push button. Once the motor stops, you push the R push button. And once the reverse push button is energized, once the reverse coil is energized, the normally closed R will open. The normally open of the reverse contact, the normally open of the reverse contactor will close, and this will be the holding circuit interlock to maintain the power to the R coil. The normally open contact of the reverse contactor R will close to energize the timer. At the same time, the S coil will also be energized. So now, the S contactor power contact will close, and the motor is now running in reverse in the Y configuration. The motor is running in Y configuration. The S is energized the coil. This one, the normally closed S, will open to prevent simultaneous energization of delta and star. So after 3 seconds of the motor running in Y connection, TO of the timer contact will open and TC will close. Once TO is open, the S coil will be de-energized. No more power. So this one will open again. The S contactor will open. And since the S coil loses its power, the S normally closed S will return to its closed position, and now the D contactor will be energized. D coil will be energized. Normally closed D will open to prevent simultaneous energization of D, delta, and star. So now delta is closed, S contactor is open, forward is open since we are running in reverse. Now let us take a look at the power circuit. when the motor is running in reverse in delta connection. So now forward is open, reverse is closed, delta is closed, star is open. So this is delta configuration. Since forward is open, the power line 1 will go this way. The red wire now is connected to W1, W5. So now the red wire, line 1, it goes to W1, W5, and also V2, V6. The red wire goes to W1, W5, and then the red wire V2, V6, W1, W5, V2, V6. Red wire line 1 goes to W1, W5, V2, V6. The yellow remains on V1, V5, and U2, U6. The yellow. The reverse contactor is closed, F is open. So we will trace yellow, V1, V5, U2, U6. Yellow, V1, V5, U2, U6. And now for line 3 we have U1, U5, W2, W6. For the blue, line 3 is now connected to U1, U5, W2, W6. Color blue. Line 3, U1, U5, W2, W6. So that is the principle of reverse forward Wye-Delta magnetic starter. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, to share. Don't forget to like, to share, and to subscribe to my channel. To God be the glory. Thank you very much.